Viewers, from the day the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly session started, there have been repeated incidents of ruckus with regular walkouts, sloganeering and storming the well of the House. Today it was no different. The Assembly witnessed a massive brawl between the BJP, the NC, PDP MLAs. They were seen jostling in the Assembly over Article 370. Reports say that the BJP MLAs were injured during the scuffle inside the House, and following this uproar in the House, the Assembly has now been adjourned for the day. We'll just play out what happened in the Assembly in just moments from now. But the visuals are on your screens. Absolute ruckus being witnessed in the Assembly. This was after a banner had been displayed in the Assembly seeking the restoration of Article 370. So the ruckus followed immediately after, with a lot of BJP MLAs objecting to it. This is Khurshid Ahmed Sheikh, the MLA, who brought out this banner displayed on Article 370 that led to a fist fight. My colleague Yawar is joining us on the broadcast with the details. Yawar, we're seeing the visuals on screens of how the Assembly turned into absolute ruckus with a fist fight also taking place. What exactly led to this?
Well, exactly, Pratibha. In the morning when the Assembly starts, there was a protest that was carried out by the MLAs of the BJP, and following that the House was adjourned for 15 minutes. And after that, when the House was again started, the banner was displayed by the independent MLA Sheikh Khurshid, who was the brother of engineer Rashid. And following that, there was a chaos, rucks that were erupted in the well of the House, and the BJP MLAs they torn apart this banner. Following that, there was a brawl that erupted between the PDP MLAs, NC MLAs, and the BJP MLAs. 6 of the MLAs from the BJP, they were marshalled out and 2 sustained minor injuries during the brawl. And following that, the rucks was not going to stop here. And despite the repeated attempts by the Speaker to stop this chaos and let the proceedings be done, there was no argument from the either side. Eventually, it led to the adjournment of the House for the second straight day. Now remember that tomorrow is the last day of the Assembly, and the BJP is on their toes. In fact, we spoke to the BJP members, we spoke to the other political members, but the BJP is categorically saying that unless and until the resolution will not be put down by the Speaker, they will not allow any sort of proceedings to be done in the Assembly. So we are expecting that tomorrow it will be more chaotic, it will be more uproar in the Assembly, as the BJP has categorically said that they won't allow any sort of proceedings unless and until this resolution will not be turned down. Now remember, today the PDP MLA Wahid Para has brought another fresh resolution in which they sought that National Conference, if willing, should get this resolution on the table. Rather, what they have brought yesterday, they termed it a weak resolution. In fact, we spoke to the Sajaloon. He also said that it's a weak resolution and it was just to put out from the shoulders to the down. And he said that if really the National Conference is worrying about the pre-4th August 2019 position, they should draw the resolution which today was signed by the MLAs of the PDP. So somehow we are witnessing the chaotic mood has been all across. On the one term, there was a Mahbooba Mufti who termed the National Conference resolution half-hearted and lacking conviction. On the other side, it was today the PDP MLA who brought a fresh resolution, but since the chaotic mood was all around, it eventually led to the adjournment and the proceedings has not been completed.
Okay.
But yes, tomorrow it's the last day of the Assembly and more chaotic scenes are expected.
Okay, chaotic scenes being witnessed. Yawar, I request you to stay with us for just a moment. We have Mohit Bhan of the PDP joining us on the broadcast. Thank you for joining us. Mr. Mohit Bhan, the Assembly is underway, but time and again we are seeing ruckus in the Assembly.
Yes, we have seen the ruckus in the Assembly. We have seen that BJP is not allowing the proceedings to happen. The people have mandated a government with a very strong majority and mandate to speak on their behalf in the Assembly. But unfortunately,
but the MLAs have been voted to power to represent their constituents. And what we are seeing is, I'm sure you're also aware, in the Assembly today, a banner had been displayed within the Assembly, and that's what led to this ruckus.
Yeah, because the MLAs who were putting out the banner for the restoration of Article 370 and 35 have been elected by the people. They went to the people for seeking votes on the name of the Article 370 and 35A. How can they betray the people's mandate? So the BJP, who has lost the people's mandate, is now creating ruckus in the Assembly and not allowing the House to proceed.
Okay, but such banners are not allowed inside the assembly, and the assembly is for a healthy discussion.
No,
So
what is
there has
allowed?
been a resolution that has been moved on 370. Are we going to see discussions only taking place on 370? Because you have the Chief Minister. You mentioned how people have wanted a leader of their own in the assembly. You have Omar Abdullah, who has been elected as a Chief Minister, and he has spoken about 370. So why have ruckus in the House time and again?
I got your question. If the banners are not allowed in the assembly, was what happened on 5th August 2019 when 1,25,00,000 people were put under house arrest and an indefinite curfew was imposed in the entire Jammu and Kashmir, was that under rules? So, and you are asking that we are asking for a debate on Article 370 and 35A in the Assembly. That is why the resolution was passed. So, as per rules, if the House has passed the resolution, there should be a debate. Why is BJP holding the House ransom? Why are the handful of BJP's MLA not allowing the House to proceed? If the House has accepted the resolution as per the rules, well, there should be a debate on that. If the BJP is against 370 and 35A, they should debate it in the House and present their point of view in the House through a debate. By creating gundagardi and by doing this ruckus in the House, they are not proving any point. They are just showing that they have lost this mandate, they have lost this battle, and now they are just trying to hijack the House and people's mandate. That's all. Okay, you're saying that the BJP is holding the Assembly to ransom. Mr. Mohit Bhan, thank you for joining us. But if there is no healthy discussion in the Assembly, then it is a disservice to the voters who have come out in large numbers and voted a government to power in Jammu and Kashmir. We have a lot more political reactions coming in on what exactly happened and the ruckus that followed. Listen in.
एक तरफ से वीक रेजोल्यूशन लाते हैं, दूसरी तरफ से ये बीजेपी वाले संघ वाले मिलकर शोर करते हैं. So nobody is being allowed to speak. You bring a weak resolution, don't allow anybody to speak, और अब मुझे लगता है ये असेंबली चलेगी नहीं. अल्लाह अल्लाह खैर सला खत्म हो गया. So कोई धोखा नहीं. It's a betrayal of people. ये पहला सेशन था 2019 के बाद. जो आज असेंबली बोलेगी वो होगा मॉरल एक्सेप्टेंस और रिजेक्शन ऑफ 2019. व्हाट डू वी टेल पीपल? एक हाफ बेक्ड, एक एम्बिग्युअस वर्डिंग वाला एक रेजोल्यूशन आता है. इज दिस व्हाट पीपल ऑफ कश्मीर हैड वोटेड फॉर? ये हिस्टोरिकल धोखा होगा, मैं आपको बता रहा हूं. एंड वी विल नॉट बी अ पार्टी टू फ्रॉड.
This resolution talks about condemnation of 5th August move by the Parliament of India, and secondly restoration of special status. Article 370 35A in its original form हमने क्लियरली मेंशन किया है कि एम्बिग्यूटी की कोई जरूरत नहीं. कल के रेजोल्यूशन को हमने भी सपोर्ट किया क्योंकि वो बीजेपी के खिलाफ था, बट इट सीक्स कॉल फॉर डायलॉग. There is no scope for dialogue on Article 370. We want restoration of 370 back in its original form.
Okay, all right. So, Yavar, we just heard a lot of political reactions coming in as well from the PDP as well, accusing the BJP MLAs of not allowing the House to function. It was all sparked off by a banner that had been displayed that called for the restoration of Article 370. You were talking about what led to the ruckus and what's happening currently.
Well, exactly. First of all, there has been the adjournment of the House for the entire day. The House went only for 10 minutes, and after that, first it was a 15 minutes adjournment, and then it was for the entire day. Now remember that the PDP, the National Conference, they are accusing BJP of creating a ruckus and terming it unnecessarily. In fact, we spoke to the Congress MLAs as well. They said that what has been happened today is clearly mentioning that the BJP won't, allow any sort of proceedings in the House. So somehow this is eventually leading the chaotic scenes in the Assembly. Since I told you that there's a last day of the Assembly being held tomorrow, so all the eyes will be on that particular day, because it's unlikely that it will continue proceeding smoothly, because the BJP has categorically said that they won't allow any sort of proceedings unless and until the proceedings, that the resolution that has been brought by the National Conference will be turned down. So clear to mention here is that there are a lot of the expectations that are on the cards. First, it is the PDP who has brought the fresh resolution terming the National Conference resolution as weaker side, and after that we saw that the banner that had been put in by the Sheikh Khurshid was torn apart. In fact, many of the things that were witnessed in that particular time, it was a 1 hour chaotic scene all across. So somehow we are witnessing that the politics is gaining the grounds since the day one, because on the day one it was Wahid Para who brought the resolution of restoring pre-August 5, 2019 position, and today he again brought the resolution resolution, terming the National Conference resolution as the weak. Somehow we are witnessing that these developments are taking place, and it's unlikely that tomorrow it will be a smooth proceedings in the
Okay, so the ruckus
session.
is only going to continue. Rawat, stay with us. We have more breaking inputs coming in. The former Union Minister also speaking up after the ruckus and chaos in the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly over the restoration of Article 370 and the demands for it. Listen in.
Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part, an indivisible part of the Union of India, and its sovereignty and integrity is something that is absolutely not up for question, or it is not up for any negotiation. So therefore, if some NC MLAs, National Conference MLAs, want to go back to the cozy times of the past, where a family sort of ran Jammu and Kashmir, or 3 families ran Jammu and Kashmir as a private subsidiary funded by the taxpayers of India, that is certainly not going to happen. So if they want to create chaos, they want to create some political hoo-ha, brouhaha about Article 370, they're free to do so. But that is a chapter long since closed.
So you heard what happened, ruckus in the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly. So a banner was displayed by the Awami Ittihad Party MLA Khurshid Ahmed Sheikh that demanded the restoration of Article 370 and 35A and asked for the release of political prisoners. That's what the poster read. And a ruckus broke out immediately after that, with several BJP MLAs also objecting to it. The banner had been brought into the assembly. In fact, he also stormed into the well of the House, prompting objections from the leader of opposition and the BJP leader Sunil Sharma, while marshals tried to stop him from standing there. In fact, it led to a lot of ruckus, with the BJP MLAs finally being marshalled out and the assembly also being adjourned for several minutes. The speaker also instructed him, in fact, to take his seat, but he continued standing with the banner. The visuals of it on your screens, the visuals speak for themselves. The MLAs were seen jostling and going at each other. They were seen, many of them also indulging in a fist fight.